Welcome back, or welcome for the very first time to Worms and Warriors. We're back here with an episode of Grand Tactician, the Civil War, 1861 to 1865. We're going straight into episode 6 of our playthrough. As always, this video will be chaptered, so if you want to skip ahead to any particular part, go right ahead and look in the chapters and go to wherever it is you'd like to go. We left off the last episode in mixed fortunes, in a mixed kind of position. Things were going okay for us, I think, but not amazing. I'm going to do a quick recap, but obviously if you want to see the full episodes play out, you have to go back and check those episodes out. So what I'll do, I will link the playlist for this series in a pinned comment. It'll also be in the description of this video if I remember to put it in. And obviously you can just click on my channel and go back to check out whichever episode it is you'd like to go to. So before we get started, a quick recap and a quick overview. This is how I always like to get going. Front lines are as follows. So in the Eastern Theatre, we've done all right. We've had 2 big battles here. Well, big for the time, for the early war. I mean, we've got to bear in mind it is still only September the 23rd, 1861. So we haven't even headed into the first real winter break. We're just coming into autumn, into fall of 1861. So times moved on fairly slowly. I mean, I feel like I've done quite a lot of game time in this so far, which is great because I do enjoy the slower pace of this. Obviously, I know not everybody does, and if you don't, then I'm sure there's other people out there making content that's much quicker than mine. But I like to keep things quite short and quite long. I should say rather, like long, drawn out. I like to look at the different things, the different bits and pieces going on. But let's go ahead and look at the front line. So in Virginia, we're holding the eastern part of Virginia very nicely. We've driven the Yankees out of the north of Virginia. However, they did manage to capture the towns they needed to make West Virginia a state, which sucks and tanked our national morale, which is actually down at 83, which is not great. So Virginia's all right. The heartland obviously hasn't been touched yet, more or less. I mean, we've got some Federals at Fort Pickens, which is where they start, and a few fleets obviously dotted around the coast blockading us, but that's not too bad. The problems have started in Kentucky, Tennessee. So the Union force, the Army of the Mississippi, we're not sure who's commanding that, but about 16,000, 15,000 men, we're not 100% sure, have come down the river here from Cairo and have taken our forts at Fort Donelson and Fort Henry. It was no problem for them to take those at all. They just capitulated within a few days. Fort Hyman is also under siege, but I'm assuming that things are not going to go well for Fort Hyman. In terms of troops around here, we've got next to nothing. We've got 4,000 men at Nashville. It is imperative that we hold Nashville, certainly for the time being. We've got the Cumberland Iron Works, which you can see is a huge ironworks for us. We've got the Cumberland Furnace, which obviously is a foundry, a furnace. This is a huge industrial part for us, and we need to hang on to that as long as possible, or for the duration, if possible. We've not got much there. So what I did, I moved our guys up here towards Cairo, just to capture the town, really, and possibly give them something to think about. But it hasn't really drawn any reaction so far, so I'm going to pull these guys back towards the Tennessee Recruiting Command, which is down here at Jackson. We're recruiting a few thousand men in here, which is going to give us kind of coming up to even numbers-ish with this Union Army. We'll see what happens there. We've also got a little force down here, just a Florida detachment, 2,000 men, which, you know, what am I going to do with these guys? We've got the 1st Kentucky Volunteer Brigade down here under Patton Anderson. Not sure why I've got those guys there. We've got some cavalry from Alabama as well hanging out down here, and some guns. So there's not much going on down there. And to be fair, I'm probably just going to leave them there for now. I did toy with the idea of moving that infantry brigade up, but I'm not sure. We're putting together a little squadron here. It's not going to be the Mississippi Squadron 2. I'll rename that as something else. But we are constructing a few little ships here. So we've got CSS Georgia, CSS Huntsville, a couple of brigs, and CSS Fulton, which is also ready right now. So we're going to move that across. So we're going to start to build up a little fleet here of steamers and brigs. And the idea with these guys is to move them out into the Gulf of Mexico and hopefully blockade some of these trade nodes, which would be really nice to do. We've got the Texas Maritime Department. It's literally one ship. I'm thinking about just disbanding that, so maybe we'll move them somewhere else. But I'm not 100% sure on that yet. If you, as always, if you have any ideas on what to do in game, do let me know. I'm always happy to take suggestions on board. Okay, so that's like kind of Eastern and Western theatre. Now the Trans-Mississippi, again, we've got some issues. Let's put these front lines back on. We have advanced up to Springfield, so we control kind of the southwestern section of Missouri, which is nice. We are constructing a depot down here. Let's just zoom into that. We have actually already constructed the depot, so we have got some supplies trickling in here into the Carrollton depot, which is huge, to be honest, because supply is a real problem down here. So we've got the Corps of Arkansas with 6,000 men. It's not much here, really. So we've got Claiborne? We've got McCullough in charge with Claiborne's division under him. The Yell County Rifle here, this is a viewer unit. The Greenville Grenadiers, another viewer unit. So we've got a couple of viewer units and some guns backed up. The Arkansas State Militia, State Artillery, and the Arkansas Mounted Rifles. So this is it's a pretty small force, but it's quite an effective one. And behind that we've got the Missouri Division. The Missouri Division is organised into three little forces, really. We've got Rains's Division, Pierce's Division, and then like a little cavalry detachment and some guns, which I've just kept them separate. These are under price for now. In terms of weapons, let's have a look what we've got available, which, let me tell you, is not much. So weapons-wise, we've got 500 Mississippi rifles, 684 plains rifles, 1,400 muskets, Springfield muskets, and some mixed muskets. And that, my friends, is it. We've got nothing. So not enough to equip anybody or anything. However, we do have some good news in that we have some projects available. So I've got this to assignable only, and we've got a whole heap of things for the military available. There's lot. I mean, to be honest, I would like to do all of these things, but for me, it's between the legacy rifles and the rebore muskets for now. Rebore muskets are decent, but the legacy rifles are great. Mississippi rifles are an awesome weapon. I mean, they fire slower than most of the more modern rifles, but their range is awesome at 500 yards. Cavalry reform is another one that we need to do, and the artillery reform also. The thing with these is this one only costs 850,000. The cavalry reform, the first one, only costs, I think it's the same. Let's just check. Yeah, 850,000. So it wouldn't take too long to build those back up. So I think we're going to go ahead and we are going to unlock legacy rifles before we start. So legacy rifles, done. Now we've got nothing available. But we're already funded with 53,000, so it won't take too long until we can get into these newer weapons. So we've now unlocked legacy rifles. At least we can order some weapons, and that's a big thing for us. So weapons, let's get them found. We've got some 24-pound howitzers on order. They've been trickling in over the last few weeks, so I have been giving them out as they've been arriving. So Mississippi rifles, I would like to order some of these. So if we order 25,000, that's going to cost 14 million and take 400 days, so the best part of a year. But that's going to equip quite a lot of men, like a corps worth of troops with the Mississippi rifle. So I'm going to go ahead and order that. I know that is going to probably do damage to our economy, but we can't fight without weapons. So let's order these. 25,000. They're going to trickle in over time, so it's not like we have to wait the full 400 days and then get them all. They will come over time as the orders are completed. It's a big order, and that's that. That's cost us a lot of money. Plains rifles, I'm going to also order some of those, but I'm only going to order 3,000 of those. It's going to cost 1.7 million, and it's going to take a total of 141 days. And we're just going to leave them alone and equip a brigade when they arrive. I wish you could order Springfield muskets, but you can't. Because, to be honest, I would be quite happy to equip some of our troops with the Springfield musket. But you can't. So anyway, that's that. So at least we've got those on order. It's going to damage our finances, like I say, and that's not good. But what can I do? Like I say, you can't fight without weapons. We have funded the military quite heavily, industry a bit. I mean, I would like to fund them more, and same with agriculture. I'd like to fund all these more, but I do not want to wreck our economy. Maybe I'll knock a little bit more into diplomacy to get those foreign weapons funding points in. The military's getting a lot of funding. Industry, I'm going to actually knock down a little bit just to make up for the money we've just pumped into the diplomacy. I mean, like I say, I don't want to push too hard. Economy, I'm funding, it's still low, but I mean, we're funding almost $6 million. So, federal buildings, I mean, we could construct a hospital somewhere. A market would be nice as well. There's not huge demand for any of these things, and we just built a prison camp, so I don't think we need those at the moment. Company applications. Now, we really need factories. The South is really lacking in factories, mills, things like, you know, the heavy industry. The South is really lacking in that. But let's look at, I mean, to fund a factory, we need to put $4.5 million into industry funding for that. Currently, we've got 626,000. There's heavy demand for that, but, you know, it's not going to happen anytime soon. Again, ironworks, foundries, all those things, farms even, we need all that stuff. But we don't have it. Again, I know my voice is probably sounding alright, but it feels pretty grim. I've been suffering for weeks with this throat infection, but it's finally shifting. But I'm still a bit down in the dumps with it, but it's alright. I just thought I'd mention it in case I sound a bit croaky on the recording. It's always hard to tell while you're doing it. Anyway, so the Army of West Tennessee under Hardee is pulling back. I seem to remember I put Braxton Bragg in somewhere, but I'm not seeing him. I can't remember where I put him. Dick White was complaining about having Braxton Bragg in, and I can see why. Oh, there he is. Yeah. I've given him a division command. People hate Bragg, and I mean, I'm not a fan of Bragg either, to be honest, but it's his administration skill that's given him this appointment. He'll help to train these troops, and they're not really expected to be in combat just yet, so, you know, I've got no huge qualms having Bragg as a division commander at the moment, but I will probably end up switching him out of there. Anyway, Fort Hyman is probably about to fall, so let's get started with this. Let's see where we're going. So it is the 23rd of September, 1861, and episode 6 is about to kick in. It is definitely a concern that we've lost these forts, but, I mean, there's not a whole heap we can do. We've got a couple of extra units of artillery coming in here, but I'm going to shift out the 1st Georgia Special Battery. They're going to join the 1st Georgia Infantry, where they're supposed to be. I accidentally sent them here, and I couldn't stop the order once that started. So we'll shift those. The Tennessee Recruit Command is finishing off this depot for us here at Jackson. Alright, so Hardee's on the move, coming back. I did toy with the idea of putting some troops into Fort Pillow, and maybe I will just do that. If we stick some Kentucky troops in there, that might do the job. Let's put 1,500 men from Kentucky in there. Red and white. Oh, nice, let's do that. Robert E. Lee, I don't think so. We'll replace him with somebody else. Frost looks like the man for that job. Yep, Daniel Frost. There you go, sir. 1 star and everything. We will, of course, have to do the military reform soon so we can form proper armies with corps. Annoyingly, our fleet is here and involved in this, but, I mean, we're getting absolutely shot to hell there. Oh, and it's disintegrated. Okay, well, that did not go well at all. It might be the case that we move Albert Sidney Johnson up here to retake these forts once the Army of the Mississippi goes away, if it does. I'm going to recruit some more troops from Georgia. Let's go with the 2,250 man brigade. I don't know why it's defaulting to these colours. Like a British infantry. Yeah, let's go like that. He looks pretty cool. Lee again. It's pretty annoying how he puts him in charge of that. Let's go with Wofford. It's going to be 22 days. Fort Hyman is not going to stand up to this at all. Oh yeah, Wool is in charge. That's right, I'd forgotten that. You see, so we had a little expedition up here at Cairo, and we're down to 36% supply. I mean, surely we would have plundered supply from here. There's a little port here and everything. Yeah, we've issued bonds. We've gone down to A-. That'll be because of our weapons order. Well, amongst other things. The Mississippi Squadron is reforming down here at Decatur, which is damned inconvenient, since we are going to have to run the gauntlet of these forts to get past that, to ever come out of there. You know, that absolutely sucks. Unbelievable, really. I'm just going to rename the Mississippi Squadron 2 as a raiding Squadron 1, just so I know what it is. In terms of policies, we are working on industrialization 1, which has got 4.3 days to go. That should help us with some of our industrial projects, of course. I'm going to recruit some more troops in here. We have got Scurry's regiment. Didn't I make? I'm sure these guys are supposed to be the Los Angeles Rifles. Los Angeles Rifles. Why has it done that? Well, anyway, under Scurry, the Los Angeles Rifles. Stan Waity with his Indian contingent, Native Americans. 4 days for those guys, and 4 days for Scurry's regiment as well. 10 days for Green's brigade from Texas. I'm going to add another brigade in here. Have we got anyone from Louisiana, maybe? 3,000 men available. Okay, great. Let's get those guys in there. I'd like to go with the 2,250 man brigades at this point. Let's go ahead with that. Not under Lee. No, thank you. Have we got a Louisiana man, maybe? Let's have a look. Harry T. Hayes. Yeah, let's go. Look at him. Major Chatham or Wheat. I like his get-up. What's he wearing? Is that like Scottish stuff or something? Served in the Mexican War with the 1st Tennessee Mounted Regiment. Commissioned a colonel by Narciso Lopez in his Cuban filibustering expedition. In 1855, joined the Juan Alvarez campaign against Santa Anna as a brigadier general in charge of artillery by the state of Guerrero. Then he became a major on the 1st of May 1861. His administration sucks, but he seems like an interesting kind of guy. Let's put him in there. I like that kind of thing. Where's it gone? Anyway, they're going to be 23 days, so some time away for those guys. But that should help us in our quest to cause trouble in Missouri. Time is pressing on. The Fort Hyman is still holding out, which is nice. Hopefully it'll give us time to get back in here, pick up some supply. Let's go to times 50, move time on a little bit here. Looks like we're drawing supply from Kieron. We have actually retained control of Kieron. It won't last, of course. So it's completed. Construction completed. Construction of Fort Washington. Oh, yes. Well, in the previous episode, if you want to care to check it out, we had a bit of a glitch where Joe Johnston ended up over here at Fort Washington somehow, and we ended up capturing that fort. I mean, I don't understand how that happened. But currently we've got Joe Johnston with his Valley Command facing off against the Army of Northeastern Virginia, who've taken Winchester. Joe Johnston has only got 14,000 men in the field, so I suspect it would be a difficult fight if it came to it. $28,000 men in the Department of Pennsylvania facing off against 25,200 under Beauregard. So we are outnumbered on both sides, really, but we are recruiting some new troops, but not many. We've got Hood's brigade coming from North Carolina. I know he's commanded the Texas brigade, but this is what he's got to deal with at the moment. I'm going to recruit some more troops because we simply haven't got enough men here. We do have 2,000 men from West Virginia. I'm going to recruit those guys in a 1,500 man brigade. I'm going to just use them to top up other brigades. So we could just give them any old rubbish commander, really. Yeah, Armistead Long, he'll do. So these guys are just going to go into other brigades because, I mean, with 37 support, it's just too low. We can't really do anything with that. So they're going to be like a top-up brigade, so to speak. I'm going to bring in some men from Alabama, 2,250. Under Cheatham, let's check him out. He's alright, yeah, so that's decent. So we've got at least some new troops arriving, and we'll spread them out as we go. We'll get some troops into this fort once it's completed as well. And that means Magruder can then move up and help. I know he's only got 1,600 men, but I mean, when we're talking about these kind of low number of troops, every man counts. We also have 4,100 men in the Kanawha district who are under Paul Octave Hubert or Hubert? Heber? I don't know. Not sure, but anyway, he's commanding down here. Garnett was in charge of this previously, but I've done a little reshuffle here. I've actually made an extra division under Kemper, and Garnett's taken over command of our artillery. Decent commander, and he's sitting here with 19 guns. It looks like we've got a lot of artillery, but actually it's not, because these are tiny, tiny batteries of 4 guns each mostly. So it just looks like a lot. It really isn't. So we could move the guys from the Kanawha district up to support the Valley Command. I was toying with the idea of a strike back into Western Virginia, but with 4,000 men, is that possible? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but possibly. I'm going to move these guys up to support Joe Johnston, and I'm thinking maybe I'm going to do a little reshuffle actually. Let's move Jackson out of here. I'm going to move Jackson away from this division command. I'm going to replace him. I'm going to replace him with Richard Anderson. I know he's a cavalry commander, but he's got good leadership, good initiative, decent administration and cunning. I mean, he's a decent guy all over. He's going to command that division. So I'm going to then give this command over here to Jackson. It frees up Joe Johnston. I know Joe Johnston is going to want a command. He's going to get one, but at the moment, I'm going to put Jackson in charge of this command. He's got awesome stats already. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Joe Johnston just yet, but we will do something with him, that's for sure. Fort Pickens only has 100 garrison men, so I'm going to send Wise, who's a rubbish commander, with 2,000 men. I'm just going to send them down to this fort just to see what they can get up to. If we can take it, we can take it. If we can't, we can't. It's just one of those things. Oh. And they've pressed straight on us here. So 27,000 men under Hunter against 13,000 of our men. I have to be honest, I don't think that's a fight we can win, especially not with our readiness being down like this. We are going to retreat, withdraw. So we've disengaged from there. The Florida detachment is preparing a siege. I mean, I'm not expecting anything from them if I'm being honest, but we'll see how that goes. So the Valley Command, we just pulled out of range, and that's perfect. That's what I want them to do. It's going to give us time to bring up the Kanawha district, which again, like I say, it's only 4,000 men, but that is going to make a difference. If we had an extra 4,000 men there, I would have fought that battle. We want to make a force for Eastern Tennessee as well, so we've got the Western Tennessee force here, and then this is going to turn into the Eastern Tennessee army, possibly. Or once we can form full armies, there'll be 2 corps, I suppose. And I want to threaten the Cumberland Gap. I want to push up here into Kentucky. The Jackson depot is completed. That's excellent. So we've got that ready there. Tennessee Recruiting Command still hasn't got anybody in it yet, just some artillery. Got some projects available. Let's have a look what we've got. Assignable only. Administration reform and suppressed population. We're going to leave them for now. Like suppressed population. Finance measures to suppress any hostile population in conquered states and territories, reducing active opposition to the nation's effort. This will reduce enemy support in conquered states that have not changed sides. So that's probably pretty handy, but not at the moment. Administration reform, finance political reforms that will allow more efficient policy making in the long run. Whether this means structural changes in the political system or simply using money in a way that makes individuals reach a consensus faster does not matter. The end result, which is faster processing of political decisions, counts. Well, that's actually a pretty good one. I think that might help us overall. Maybe we will go ahead with that administration reform. Like a kind of behind the scenes thing that's going to make everything help take over better. Let's do that. Policy activation time plus 5%. Well, I don't know if that's going to make much difference, to be honest, but we'll see. Fort Hyman is still in a siege. Fort Donaldson has no supply. I'm worried what's going to happen when they've got this fort ready. They're going to unleash 23,000 men on us. So if they do, we'll pull back from Springfield and we'll make our little stand down here near Carrollton, just north of Carrollton. Hopefully we'll have a few more troops available by then with these guys coming in. I am naturally a bit of a defensive-minded sort of commander in this game. Which, I mean, I know not won't suit everyone, but that is the way it is. So we're back to yellow readiness here. 16,200 men available with 4,000. Oh, what's going on here? Disaster at Fort Pickens. We didn't take Fort Pickens, okay. It doesn't really matter. Where the heck's it? Where are they going? They're retreating all the way up to here, almost to Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, I mean, you couldn't have just gone to Pensacola, but, you know, whatever. I'm going to actually recruit some more guys into this troop. Just one more unit. Let's go ahead with some guys from Georgia. 1,500 men. Small brigade. Disaster at Fort Hyman. Yeah, we lost Fort Hyman. I mean, that was always going to happen. So that leaves us in a real bit of a pickle. We've got this line of Union forts now blocking that river. We could really do with a few more ships to put into these fleets, but I mean, realistically, what are we going to do here? I mean, they're expensive as well. I'm gonna set a few of these little steamers to build, but I mean, I'm not expecting anything from them. But we need a few ships on the river. Okay, so that's going to now release the Army of the Mississippi, who are going to go to 18,000 men. Army of the West. I mean, it's going to be a difficult fight. I mean, that's for sure. This campaign in general. I mean, and that's what we like. That's one of the things we like about this game. You don't always win. Industrialization 1 is enabled. That's excellent. So let's just pause that a moment. We have issued bonds again. We're down to BBB+. Oh, jeez. Policies, okay. The Tariff Act would bring us some much needed money, but would lower support. Civilian warships will open up cheaper ships. Militia Act 3 will give us more recruits. Impressment. Recruits will go up. Cost of supplies will go down by 20%, but support will go down. Ooh. Military 2. Military policy allows new acts to strengthen. Minus 7% research speed due to lower state support, plus 5% research speed due to projects. Well, I'm really not sure where to go with this. Print notes would be a mistake at the moment. I think we're going to go with the Tariff Act. It's going to lower our European relations, but to be honest, European intervention is not likely. Let's go with that. It's going to make us a bit of money. We can set tariffs for imports. 20 days. We have to look after the financial side of things. Speaking of that, I'm going to lower the money we're paying out for this. I mean, I don't want our country to go bankrupt. I'm going to lower the funding slightly in agriculture and economy. Military is going to stay where it is. Industry and diplomacy, I'm just going to knock down a bit more again. I don't think we need that. Let's see if we can stabilise this a little bit. Yeah, so quite a worrying development here on the fort front. Holmes Brigade has arrived. Men from Tennessee. Let's get them transferred out. Going to replace Bragg because, like, I don't really want him fighting. I'm going to give that to Joe Johnston, I think. Actually, no, I'm not going to give it to Joe Johnston. I'm going to give Joe Johnston command of this army rather than Hardy. Well, actually. Well. It's a difficult one. Although Joe Johnson actually outranks Hardy. He's a Major General. Hardy's a Brigadier General. Let's see who else have I got. I'm going to put Van Dorn in charge of that division instead, and I'm going to replace Hardy with Joe Johnston. It gives us Hardy available for another command. He can actually... Yeah, let's have a look here. That's not much of a division at all. Well, we've got Hardy available. Hardy can go somewhere else. Joe Johnston's now in charge of the Army of Western Tennessee. Got some troops available in the Trans-Mississippi. We've got the Los Angeles Rifles and the native contingent there. Let's get them moved out. You're going to join the Corps of Arkansas, and I'm going to put a new division in there, a cavalry division, of course. So we want a good cavalry commander out here. A veteran cavalry. Well, Hardy could do it actually, but I don't want to put him there. Sibley, he's a bit of a dundering fool. Hayes, I don't know why he's come up. Oh, it's because of veteran or cavalry. Okay, I see. Oh no, he's still coming up. I'm going to put him in actually. Let's put Hayes in there. He's going to be in charge of that command, that division. Again, it's more of a brigade, really. I mean, it's... Oh, no, it's not, because McIntosh's guys is actually a large cavalry regiment, which you start off with 2,398 men, where Scurry's got 485 and Waitie's got 482. So, but that's not bad. So we've got Claiborne and Hayes here under McCullough. Missouri Division. Not much happening with these guys. Just rebalancing a little bit. Time is ticking. Just having a look through our guys here. They're fairly well armed, this army. Nothing to give Baldwin's 5th Mississippi Regulars, though, unfortunately. Although, if we give Evans' sharpshooters Springfield rifle muskets, we could then give Baldwin... Oh, no, we can't. I thought we'd have enough Mississippi rifles to give them, but we haven't. Damn it. I'll give them back their muskets. Okay, their rifles, sorry. Okay, I'm tempted to press on Alexandria. Yeah, I'm going to transfer Stark's regiment and Mahoney's infantry regiment. They're going to go into the Virginia force, the Virginia army. I know it's quite heavy already with troops, but I'm going to put them in there anyway. We're going to make a little cavalry brigade division, whatever you want to call it. And we'll take it from there. Let's move. Mahoney's only got 1,000 men, but that's an extra 1,000 men who are going to fight. We're going to put them in the Bonham's division. They're going to be there in a day, so is Stark. So when they're there, we're going to reorganize that. And what I'm going to do also, I'm going to recruit another troop into Magruder. And I know I wasn't really going to do this directly into the units, but I think I will. We've got 250 men from Virginia. Can we do a 250-man cavalry regiment? We can. Let's do that. Tiny little force, but they'll help build that fort. That's the thing. I'm going to put Beckham in charge of that. He's an engineer. Hopefully that'll help with the building as well. Okay. Nobody ready in the recruit command. And we have left southwestern the southwestern Shenandoah Valley area open because we moved our guys up here, which is obviously an issue. $10,500 men now under Joe Johnston. That is looking more like a viable force. Van Dorn with 7,700 men infantry. Hughie with 1,700 men, but, you know, and some guns. That's the problem here. We've got no guns, actually. Yes, I was going to shift some guys around, wasn't I? So we've got John B. Gordon, the first Georgia Regulars here. We're going to send the guns over to join them. Not that we've got many guns here either, but that is where we wanted them. Is this the setup that I had for them? I feel like some things have changed since I was last on here. I'm sure this is not how I set them up. We're back to A-. That's excellent. So it's probably because I dropped some of those funding options down, which, you know, is not something I wanted to do, but I think we had to do it. Okay, so 26,700 men now under Beauregard. Fairly even numbers with these boys at Alexandria. Supplies are a little low, but our ammunition is fine, and that's good. 28,000 men. It's risky. It is risky. Just letting time take over a little bit. We're in October now. Wise has arrived. Oh, he's finally pulled back, has he? Because our finances have definitely improved. That's nice to see. Tariff Act in 16 days. Projects, nothing going on really yet. So the overall situation here is our national morale is on 83, there's 75. Support, I was 93, there's 86. Morale of armies, I was 90, there's 83. They've got 27 loyal states, we've got 13. They've got 129,000 in the field, we've got 80,000. So it's really starting to show now. Navy tonnage, we're miles behind. Military experience, we're slightly ahead. Battles won, 6 for us, 8 for them. Slight advantage to the Federals overall. 8,700 casualties for us, 11,600 for them. We've got 40 relations with Europe, but I mean that's going to go down. Trade warfare, it's all the Union's favour. Economy, obviously, again in the Union advantage. Weapons, we've got a few more howitzers here, but I mean nothing else has arrived yet. A handful of Mississippi rifles and Plains rifles, but not many. I'm going to order a little handful of 12-pound howitzers, just 32. It's going to cost us $1 million, but again, it's going to give us options for artillery. We've got 4 ships back in this fleet, but I mean, how am I going to get past those forts with these 4 ships? I just don't know. It's not going to happen, basically. Just moving time on a bit, see if anything happens. Fort Taylor is ready. That's excellent. That's here. Hopefully, it's going to be a bit of an obstacle for the enemy. I'm going to put some troops in there. Let's see what we've got. Haven't got much. We've got 45,000 available. I don't want to ram them all in. That's the problem. So West Virginia, we're going to put in a small cavalry regiment. I know cavalry's not ideal for defending a fort, but you know. I'm going to field some troops from Maryland. They're supposed to be 32, but they're going to go into a fort, and I think that's going to be fine. It's going to put almost 3,000 men with 9 guns in that fort. Hopefully that's going to be an obstacle that will be a problem for the Union to contend with. A couple of days for Hood's men. Long's brigade still ages away, 40 days, and Cheatham is 22 days away. Move time on. So the Federal Army is heading back up the river. I'm gonna send. Let's have a look. Wooford, how long has he got? 8 days. Oh. Once Wooford arrives, I want to send them up to take on these forts. Just see what we can do with them. He's moving back to take Cairo, I'm assuming. No. He's gone up past Cairo. What the heck? Are they planning operations in Missouri? CSS Georgia and CSS Huntsville have been constructed. Let's just go and check that out, see what they were. Oh, so that's our 2 brigs. Excellent. So I'm going to move our raiding squadron out to sea. And then I'm going to stick those ships in there. I'm not sure how this is going to work exactly, but hopefully it will. Okay, let's have a look. See, can I assign them now? Yes, I can. Nice. I'm a bit worried about the Army of Tennessee. I mean, where the heck are they going? If I had corps, I would have a cavalry corps now, head up into Illinois and wreck the place, but we can't have corps just yet, which is frustrating. Can we retake these forts, or will we lose? He's come at us again. Okay, 27,000 men going to take on our somewhere around 20,000. This should be an interesting fight in the Shenandoah Valley. Hunter in charge, taking on Thomas Jackson. We're going to see what happens with this in the next episode, so make sure you come back and check it out. I'll try and get this in next week if you're following this along as it's going. If not, head straight on to the next episode and see how this fight goes. Whatever you're doing, hope you're having a great day. If you don't mind, why not hit the subscribe button and follow the series along? It's always awesome to have more people along here. We've got a Discord channel with a friendly little community as well. So it would be awesome to see some of you guys join in there as also. Hopefully I'll see some of you guys around and I'll catch you in the next one. This should be a good fight. I mean, we're outnumbered by about 10,000 men, give or take. So it should be an interesting fight at least. See you there. Ta-ra for now.